never done a video like this before, but I feel the need to explain myself, even though I owe nobody an explanation. When I say that I'm sorry to anybody going through pain, it's not because I necessarily did anything to cause the pain. It is because I empathize with pain. I have been through pain, and I am sorry as a human being that you as a human being are going through any kind of adversity or pain, especially pain that was caused by other human beings. I acknowledge that there is racism. I acknowledge that I have probably been guilty of it whether it was through a joke or a comment or something. I'm sure I know that I have been guilty, and I am sorry for that. As far as the violence and the inequality and the civil rights movement in general, I am sorry that anyone has to fight for those rights that are already legally theirs, that our forefathers fought for, so that we could all enjoy those rights together. It's been argued to me that some of our forefathers owned slaves, and I acknowledge that that is true, but that also needs to be acknowledged that several of them fought very hard for equality and for civil rights and black rights. And so every step that I take in this movement, and every comment that I make, and everything that I post, and everything that I do is intended to help. And there are people out there that just like to argue, and there are people out there of every race, creed, religion, walk of life that they like drama, and they like to argue, and they like to victimize or play the victim. But what it comes down to is there are a lot of fights to fight, but today this is the one we're talking about. And so when I apologize, I'm apologizing for not even necessarily years of oppression, but like what's going on right now. I am apologizing for what this person standing in front of me has gone through, and what they're going through right now, and the fact that they have to fight for these rights that legally they have. And the fact that I have to teach my children about these things, because it's not a history lesson, it's a today lesson. So when I apologize, I'm not apologizing because some stupid joke I made 10 years ago caused all this, because I know that that is not true. I'm apologizing because you're going through pain, and I'm an empath. And when you're going through pain and I'm with you, I feel your pain. And I want to help it, and I want to make it better, and I want to make this world better for my kids and for your kids. And I keep sticking to I keep focusing on the fact that we're all human, because I think that's what it comes down to. I respect and admire the differences in history and culture, just like I would respect and admire the difference in history and culture in another family, another white family, another Asian family, another black family. But I think that we need to acknowledge that we are all human, and that these are human rights. And we don't need to ignore what has happened, but if we continue to act in a way that is dictated by those differences, then we just continue this cycle of hate and of differences and of arguing. And there are people that are good people, that have good intentions, that are trying to help and get attacked and end up getting defensive and almost shoved to the other side. Not that they become racist or because of anything anybody has done, but it's almost like, people are getting shoved from one side or the other that were about peace and that were about resolution and about things that are actually going to make a difference, that aren't about arguing. Well, I feel like I'm rambling now, but this was a friend sent me a very, very mostly awesome video that an African American gentleman had posted about, you don't have to be sorry because you didn't do anything, but I just think that it's misunderstood. Apologies are sometimes misunderstood. Apologies are given for all kinds of reasons. Sometimes apologies are given because you got caught. Sometimes apologies are given to be just diplomatic or polite. Sometimes apologies are given out of genuine guilt, and then sometimes apologies are given because you genuinely feel sorry that one human feels pain, and all pain is valid. And I have had my own trials in life, and I apologize to people who are going through infertility. I didn't make them infertile, but I apologize to them because I'm sorry. I'm not sorry because I did anything. I'm so sorry that they're going through that pain. I'm so sorry that you out there are going through whatever pain it is that is inflicted on you right now. I'm sorry that the African American community as a whole and that the human community as a whole are going through this pain. And I think that what we need to see is that it's making many things transparent. It's really testing and showing who people really are, which is sometimes a sucky lesson, but I've learned a lot about people and who they are and who I want in my life and who I want around my children. And I look forward to sitting in tomorrow. I look forward to attending the public memorial for Mr. Floyd on Monday, just like I marched for birth rights among doulas and midwives and other birth community folks. When my twins were babies, we marched for mothers' rights. So it's all about people, and it's all about human rights, and it's all about being human. And we need to not, and I don't think we don't ignore differences. But when we say it's about being human, it's not because we're ignoring the struggle that the Black community has gone through, and it's not because we're trying to say that there is no difference in color. We're trying to say that, there are less differences than there are similarities. We all have hearts, we all have blood, we all bleed, we all feel pain, we all love, we all hate. The difference is history, history and culture, and those differences are those are the differences between some Black families and white families. Those are the differences between some white families and other white families. And so I think getting back to our roots, and our roots are humanity. So I'm not going to stop apologizing. I'm not going to stop saying that this is about humans hurting humans. And I hope that more people walk with unity and say, I'm not going to let anyone do this to my fellow human being. Much love.